Welcome back to Cue Ball Garage. Another day, down on my second job. Now, I left you last episode, we had an oil leak up under the car, and it was actually coming from the block where I had a T-piece screwed into the oil gallery plug, and that ran an oil pressure sender unit, or an idiot light unit, and then it also came up to the capillary gauge. So I've had a leak from there. It's hard access. Bloody mosquito. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a 90-degree elbow screwed into that, seal it up. Then I'm going to run an AN line up through the firewall, through the grommet in the firewall. And then I'm going to mount this Aeroflow sensor block up under the dash. So then my plan is I can still run the idiot light off that, and then I can also run that to the gauge. So I can just run, instead of running the copper line, which is, it's probably 1.5 meters long, so there's so much excess there. So what I'm going to do is just cut a little piece of the Teflon stuff, the nylon stuff, and it's going to be in the car, so away from any heat sources, away from anywhere where it can rub. And then I'll just run it into that fitting which has got the olives, and that crimps it off there. So that's what we'll do to alleviate that issue. So today I want to get the car running again, top up all the transmission fluid, make sure we got drive, make sure everything's right on that side of it. So I'm out. A little bit loud. If I do an exhaust, that might sort that problem out. Not that it is really a problem, but it sounds pretty tough. That's just a quick look at that block I was talking about, the sensor block. That's where I've mounted up under there, so I can tie everything up nice and tidy out of the way, and you can get to everything. So that's what I come up with. We had a leak because I forgot to tighten it up again. Didn't follow my own rule. But good oil pressure, as you can see. How you going, everyone? Bit of an update. It's Christmas Eve. If you haven't seen it, maybe go and have a look at my shorts that I've put up. It'll be the latest one that's up there. Did a little test skid. The tail shaft has actually failed. So not on the end that I worked on, but on the, it looks like it's twisted first up, then ripped the front uni out, then taken the back out. And the irony of it is I've got the tail shaft loop ready to go in. But when the tail shafts failed, the sudden release of torque, I guess you'd call it, it's cracked the Turbo 400 bell housing all the way through, from the driver's side round to the passenger side. So I'm just about to pull the transmission out now. I'm rushing around trying to get a tail shaft made, and yeah, I'm in shitter's ditch at the moment. So anyway, let's pull this transmission out. I've got a mate who is going to TIG it up for me. He's got the proper rods to do cast aluminium. So we'll see how we go. I'll show you how it's looking. So I was just having a bit of a look, and I don't know if you can see that. Should be able to see that there. A nice little crack. Goes all the way up and around to the other side. So being the idiot that I am, I felt the vibration, but kept the foot into it. So that's just the other yoke I've just put in there at the moment. The tail shaft, not the tail shaft, the output shaft and everything seems fine. So it's more or less ripped the caps out of here. They're actually still in there, but they'll just splayed out. And the front uni was all ripped apart. So it looks like it's twisted, and that's what's given the vibration. That's the front. So it's just splayed them out and just ripped them off the unis. The rear is all together where I've welded it up. There's no marks there. So it looks like it's twisted and let go at the front first and then flopped around and let go. But anyway, like I said before, you got to test. So I'm trying to arrange a billet 1350 yoke for the diff, which I believe you can get. A lot of places are out of stock, so I'm trying. My next thought was I was going to pull the transmission out of the Impala, but then I've just thought I'll turn up without a car rather than rip that apart for nothing. But anyway, we're going to try and weld this back together, get a tail shaft made between now and Summernats, and I just got to keep going with everything else. As you can see, that's where the transmission used to be. Just got a block of wood up there to support the weight of the engine, just leaning it back against the firewall. So this is how bad it looks. Now, I don't know if it's me, but that is a very thin case. Surely that's not a heavy duty case, but this is the other piece. So I've got a mate who can TIG, like I told you. But the thing that worries me is I've got a crack down through here, down through there, and when you have a look, it goes right past the pump bolts. So I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do, but obviously I'll keep you updated. I might just pull this converter out and we'll have a look. So it might actually run around the outside of where the pump bolts go. So we might be all right there, but not good. Anyway, I'll keep you updated. G'day everyone, Boxing Day. Hope everyone had a nice Christmas. Enjoyed the time with your family and friends. Anyway, we're back down the shed, still into it. After my celebrations yesterday, went and spent time with the family, and I come straight back down here last night. I got all the door glass in. I know we've got bigger issues than that, but anyway, I'm just pressing on, trying to knock over a few jobs, keep the momentum going, and I'm pretty much resigned to the fact that if I can't get a tail shaft made or another transmission, I'm ripping the one out of the Impala. Even though Guy said I can borrow his transmission, but you know, I'd hate to ruin someone else's. But anyway, let's have a look. So, like I said yesterday, the irony is the next job I was going to do was put the tail shaft loop in. So I will do that today, because when I drill the holes, if there's any filings or anything, I want to vacuum the floor of the car There's a couple of holes there I just want to seal up, and then I'm going to lay the carpet in. I just want to do all the holes for the bolts for the seats and the shifter and things like that. Shifter cable. So yeah, yesterday put all the door glass in. It's all dirty. It's been wrapped up for a number of years, so it's all still dirty. But I had to glue them back in and into the runners and put the new Bailey channel in. Anyway, that's all done. Got them adjusted up pretty well. The only one giving me trouble was the passenger front. As you can see, it's just not quite up there touching the seal up the top. So I just got to muck around with the adjustment, but all the other doors are pretty right. So this morning I've just been scraping back some of this old sealant for the windscreen, and then once I get that off, it actually comes off quite easily. It stays together. It all comes off in one big chunk as you keep scraping, so that's not too bad. Got all the rusty trim clips out. I've got some new ones there. I'm going to go over it with a wire wheel, give it satin black, and then I can put the screen in. So I've just got some black windscreen sealant, so I'm going to clean the screen up as well. I run a bit of masking tape around the edge so that it doesn't all ooze out and just give me a nice sharp edge. And like I said before, even though one day I will blast this car and repaint it, do it all perfect, at the moment that's just what I'm going to do. Try and make it look half tidy, half decent, and keep it waterproof. So that's where I'm at. I'll do that. We'll just run around. I've just gone around all the inside edges of the doors. There was still some wire and everything from the old door seals. I've actually got some new ones there to plonk in. So I'll make sure that's all right as well. But as you can see, they all seal up pretty well. I just need a damn good clean. Alright, so that's what we're up to today, and I'll keep you updated as we go. I'm not going to bore you. Couple of jobs done. That's a tail shaft loop. I've just used those two bolts. I've had to trim them down a little bit just to miss the rib in the floor. So I've drilled up and through, and the pieces that I've cut off, I've used them like large flat washers up the top of the floor. So she's nice and solid. It's got a light there. It's nice and solid anyway. So it's just up there. I'm just thinking when the transmission's in, whichever one it's going to be, the yoke is just up inside the tunnel, just up in here, and then it angles down from there. So I can always move this bottom loop down if I need to, but just looking by eye, it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to have to panel beat the floor. That's where the tail shaft said goodbye, gave that a smacking. I'll try and give that a hit back down. And then I've also put in, that's my little line lock solenoid there. So I've just used a flexible line to come up into that fitting, and then just made a small one up into the original flexible line. So I haven't even bled the back brakes yet. So I've hooked up the park brake cables. Haven't adjusted the drums right up yet. So they're actually the 1 tonner cables, so they've got a bit of extra length in them, but I'm not mucking around changing them. So it's all hooked up, just got to adjust them up. So at least the park brake will work if I need it, and then bleed the brakes up so I can get that working. I've also given the windscreen channel or sealing area a wire wheel. So I've had 2 wire wheels. I was going to use this one, which actually runs off the grinder. Bit harsh, bit too aggressive. So I just used that one in the drill. After I scraped all that sealant off, just used that. Got rid of all the loose rust and bits and pieces. There was one little pinhole I found in there, but that was it. And we'll give that a coat of satin black once that metal prep stuff dries. So this stuff here, metal armour I used. Zinc rich primer and sealer, so I'll use that and then I'll go over it with the satin black. I just don't want it to rust out any more than what it is at the moment until I get around to blasting it and doing it properly, like I said. I just vacuumed all the metal filings and all the bits of stuff out of the bottom of the floor of the car. I gave that tunnel a bit of a beat down, got it looking more normal, or more normal than it was. So I've just used this Polycraft rust primer. So I can already smell it. It's quite pungent. I can smell it converting the rust already. So it's supposed to convert it all and then leave like a plastic base primer. So I've given it all a good hit everywhere. Like I said, I just don't want it to continue to rust. So that plug down there, that metal plug, it was all rusted away to nothing, had some sharp edges, so I've given that a hit with the flapper disc, and I've got to seal that up. And I don't think I'm even going to put any underlay down. I'm going to put the carpet in once this is all dry. It says 6 hours, but probably more than that. So I can lay the carpet down, put my holes in for everything, for the mount and for the seat. And then I'm going to clean all the threads up for the seat belt holes and get ready to put all that in. So this is the top of the dash and the windscreen sealing surface there. So wire wheel and just satin black like I told you. So I'll let that dry and I'll get me a little cork pieces and I'll cut them out, and they'll be the spaces for the screen, so it sits in there. It's got a nice gap around there so I can put the trim in. So I've got the screen in. I've used my 3 bits of cork under the 2 ends and then in the middle as well, just to try and hold it up to give me a good gap around, good even gap, so I can put the trims on properly. Now I've tried this trick. I've just moved in from the line and used masking tape. So it's either going to be an ingenious plan or I'm going to have tape stuck behind the Celastic or the window sealant. So we'll see how we go. I'm going to try and pull that away, and it should leave a nice sharp edge so you don't see anything come through, even though it looks like we've had a bit of bleed through there. Anyway, what are you going to do? It's just a bit of a trial run for when I do the real screens, when I do it properly. But there's a bit of a scratch along there. I might be able to polish out. I don't know what that's from, but these glass, or all the glass here, has been stored for a fair while, wrapped up in blankets and that. So I've cleaned the inside. Once it all sets, I'll clean the outside, try and get the trim on. Anyway, just another little piece of the puzzle. I was going to muck around and try and fix that dash pad, just try and fill those holes in and paint it buckskin, because you can get the vinyl dye that's in buckskin as well. But it's that brittle, even when you touch it with your hands, it starts to crumble. So I just put it in. That's how it's going to be. All right. Any more else I get done, I'll update you along the way. Just doing these door seals. So if I can give anyone some tips or help someone out with their project, I'd like to show you anything that might help you, any little tips, because I didn't know myself. It's been that long since I've done a HQ or HJ or something, done door seals, so I couldn't remember. But when your seal comes new in the packet, the longer ones are for the front doors, obviously, because they're bigger, and the shorter ones for the rear doors. Monaro doors are different again, they're bigger again. But there's a join in the seal, and I'll show you that now, and that actually goes on the shortest 2 holes. All the rest are 100mm spacing, and there's 2 that are 85mm apart. So there are these ones down here. So I'll show you on the other back door. So it's actually these 2 here, right next to the lock, or the striker for the lock, and that's where you start from. So when you look at your seal, I've got a front one up here which has got the join. So there's the join there. You can see where there's a line there where they glue it together, and these 2 here are your closest ones. So on the driver's door or passenger door, front door, whichever one, it's these 2 holes here. So the one on the corner, so they're 85mm apart, all the rest are 100mm. So there's just a little trick, and then you won't have to rip them back out again like I did. So hopefully that saves you. That's why I got the super glue there. I've had to fix a bit of a stuff up. Anyway, hope that helps you out. Right up. The tape idea in the windscreen was all right on the sides and up the top. Down the bottom was a nightmare. Stupidest thing you could have done. So you got to try and get in there with a long blade, try and scrape it away. I've made all this mess up here. Lucky it's not a show car, but it was just an absolute nightmare. So I don't recommend taping down the bottom. Maybe do a trial fit, put her in with your spacers, see where it's going to go, and then try and run a bead down there. Yeah, sides are pulled away all right, the top pulled away all right. And as far as the door seals, I might have given you a bum steer on that as well. So even though these two holes here on the corner are 85mm, there's actually two more down here that are 85mm apart. So that's where you should start. Alright, I found that out the hard way, so hopefully that helps you out. So don't listen, it's not up here, it's down here somewhere. Alright, and that window regulator keeps on, it's like it's loose, keeps on skipping a tooth. So I'm going to have to change that out as well. I love doing things over and over again, it's nothing like it. Anyway, signing off for the moment. You might be able to guess what we've been up to. Headlights are working. Bunch of wires and crap on the ground. We're looking good. Got our little fuse lid on, fuse cover. Been mucking around, having a look. I've got the carpet laid in there. Cleggy's back again, hard at it. Back in there. So what we've done is we've bypassed that original fuse block. Got the wiring diagram out. So we're just going to run this one up under the dash, bypass everything. Just doing the start inhibit switch now. I'll run the wires, which will go to the shifter. So she's looking good. And then up the back, I've taken the old bumper off, and then I've got another old bumper, which is actually a lot straighter than the other one. The other one looked like it had been pushed up with a forklift. I've just taken the tail lights and indicators out, cleaned up the terminals and put Scotch-Brite and a screwdriver down inside and cleaned up down inside the globe holders. And I'm just going through the wire and harness there now, so it's on the floor. And I've got a grommet on there ready to go in. Broken a few bolts and we took the brackets off, they were all rusted. And then I'm going to clean up down in here where that harness comes through. There's a couple of Scotch locks and all that on there, and they're never a good idea. So that's what we've been up to, and we'll see if we can get everything working. Just mucking around trying to get the lights going. So this one's making a liar of me. Just turned off as I bloody walked around there. Oh, the tail lights are gone off, yeah.
Yeah, I'm laying on it, mate. Oh, shit.
All right. So we've got the test light. Here we go. Here comes the tail lights back on. Off again.
I'll just light it back on.
Yeah, you're right, you're right. Righto, so tail lights are working. So as you imagine, these globe holders are pretty touchy.
Yep.
So I'm going to have to try and get that against the body to earth out a bit better.
Yep.
Oh, Jace is talking to the camera. So a bit of bush mechanicking going on here. So this is for the right hand indicator. I've had to drill it out. The contact wasn't actually, there was no continuity between the spade terminal and the actual the contact in the base where the light would touch. So I've just turned that into a bit of a rosette, I guess you'd call it. Put a bit of solder on it. That'll pull down in there. That'll be the contact for the base of the globe. And then underneath here, I'll put the spade terminal on, and that'll be the same, that'll connect it up. That's what we're going to do. Put it back in the holder, and then I'm going to flare this back out to hold that in. So we'll see how that goes. So Jace has been busy. He's made up a little Perspex board, and that is going to be for the, there you go, we've got two test lights
Flashing
in
away.
series. That's the only thing giving load to the flasher can. So he's done a bit of a thing up under there. Can you get that, mate? Yeah, see that? And that's going to be, that's a relay and a positive contact. So once the key goes on, that'll be all your ignition source goes through there, yeah? All the load goes through that.
Yep, yep.
All right, that'll be cool. And we've got our own fusible linked power coming in.
Just to be neatened up yet.
So to look after me carpet, he's got a hubcap for his solder catchment. I always appreciate someone who looks after the gear. Very nice, mate. And we've got our generator light on, so that should excite up the alternator when the time comes. So we've found that plug, and I've had to put another terminal in there. So we've got one goes to the power of the alternator, another one comes to the light. Put a load on it, put a resistance through it to excite it. And I think that's about it. Everything else will just be tidying up. Well, it comes that time again where I reckon we've got enough content before I bore the shit out of this again. About 30 minutes or something seems to be the goal, seems to be the key. And I can just imagine some of my mates talking about not the only time I've been standing next to a flogged out tranny. But anyway, Monday's going to be the day where I find out if I can get a tail shaft made and we sort out a transmission, whether I pull the one out of the Impala or what goes on. But we'll do whatever we can to get this thing to Summernats. The wiring's coming up good. I'm going to clean. I should be able to get the seat belts and the seats and everything in tomorrow. I'll do all the holes and everything, but back down here Sunday, back into it. So once again, I just want to say thanks very much for subscribing, for enjoying the content. There's been a few hypes and like and ring the bell, all that type of stuff. So share it with your mates as well. So thank you very much to everyone, and I'll see you next time. See you later.